Welcome to Pure Grit with Paula McGrath. If you search the word grit, you'd see that it means to have courage, show strength of character, passion and perseverance. Throughout the series, Paul will chat to guests from all walks of life who have shown pure grit to get to where they are now. Paula? Yeah, look, your hair looks fine. I've done the intro, so ready for you to talk now. Yeah, you do your talking thing.
Welcome to Pure Grit, the delightful JMO, Julia Morris.
But comfort seems to be my way forward, even though I'm still trying to be groovy. I don't know if groovy is the right word, but yeah, I'm definitely favouring comfort. Hence the trainers.
Very, very cool. I love them. Are they Adidas?
They are. So I got onto funny old ASOS, not Spawn.
Oh
not
yeah,
Spawn.
ASOS.
And I surf their trainers all the time. I literally just went surfing this morning to find some trainers on
Wow.
ASOS. Because of their global buying power, I don't even know if, I assume, they have all sorts of different styles and then they chuck them on sale. And that's where money comes in.
You come in.
I'm not paying $200 for those. No. Oh my God, they're down to 98.
You're going to get them. Boom.
Come on. So I built a collection over the last, I'd say, 4 years of trainers. My trainer collection is enviable. And I've got them to go with the colours of a lot of the colours that I wear. Because you tend to wear similar colours all the time.
You do, yeah.
I
don't normally wear pink, but I put pink on for you today just for a bit of colour.
I think it's beautiful.
I put that on for you, Julia.
I love it. I did think about a stronger colour pop in my world because when you're being, when the...
Well, it's been a while since I've been a TV presenter, but I always remember bold colours, they put you in bold.
I should have shown you, I should have got the green out. It might have been a nicer...
yeah, I love green.
This is in the front room, this lovely room.
Oh, that's better, Julia. That's a better background.
Oh, hang on.
That's beautiful.
It's not too much light, is it?
No, I love that. Very,
I feel
very.
like I'm in FM
back in the jungle.
Back in the jungle. Maybe we can shoot the show from here. Hi,
Julia,
Doctor.
Julia, you do everything. You are mean on the sewing machine because you were mentioning before about you went to Spotlight. Do you you can sew? You're an amazing cook.
I'm not a very good sewer. I'm one of those sewers that didn't know they couldn't sew, so they sew. Do you know what I mean? And if it's sequins, you can hide a lot of mistakes while you're sewing sequins.
Oh, just anything you can't do. You're host everything.
Yes.
I see you cook. You love cooking. You don't look like
I'm not
eat a lot though. Of your
I
cooking.
do.
You do.
Oh yeah, you've got to eat it all. You've got to eat it all. I'm the kitchen is not one of my special gifts. Many years ago, I was making risotto, which is one of my signature dishes.
Fancy.
And Dan said, he said something like, "Oh, babe, oh God, are we having risotto again? Can we learn something else?" Or so it was like some sort of patronising way. I'm making him sound like an asshole. He's so not. He's the best guy in the whole wide world. But he said, risotto. So I said, guess what? I'm not cooking anymore. Off you go. If you've got some great ideas about what we should be eating, there you go. So from that day to this, I have barely been in the kitchen unless it's away. And then
he does all the cooking.
Over lockdown, he ordered the Hello Fresh, and all of a sudden I was back into the kitchen again. I'm like, okay. And then oddly, in full disclosure, as the lockdown finished, I don't know whether I talked about it online or how they got a hold of me, but they asked me would I come and do a commercial with Sophie Monk for Hello Fresh.
Yes, I saw that, Julia.
Totally. Well, also, I never do any of that stuff unless I really believe it, use it, get it, because I don't have I'm way too honest, and I will bust myself.
That I've caught out. Yeah.
I've never done any of that stuff for the money, even though as a struggling comic for most of my life I've needed it. But even then I'm like, nah, You got to believe in it.
Yeah, no,
Otherwise,
I've actually had HelloFresh. I wasn't well for a while, and as I was recovering, a friend sent it to me. It was so lovely because I'm on my own with him, and it was just my lifesaver. Like
it makes the decision for you.
I knew I was cooking,
easy.
and I tried new recipes that I never tried before. And
Dan would be like, babe, this is beautiful. I'm like,
yeah,
I didn't do it. Like
Yeah.
I made it.
yeah, got the card there. Exactly.
I didn't. It got because the girls kept coming home from play dates going, yeah, we had like fajitas with blah, 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 blah. They'd never eat that at my place. I'd be begging them. And then, oh, God, why don't you just go and get some cereal? Because that's been a go-to in my house. I'm like, if you don't like what I've cooked, check it out. There's a lovely cereal cupboard there and there's some milk in the fridge. Good luck, everyone.
Julie. Oh,
I take that back. Shouldn't be swearing. I get excited.
No, but I'm the same. I cook every night, but I cook like terribly. One meal for Jem and one meal for me.
Absolutely. It's well, look, have faith because as they get older, you definitely then. Our girls are now old enough at 11 and 13 for us to look forward to the social moment at the table.
Together. Yep.
Yeah, so Dan's a big fan of it. I don't think he's ate much at the table as a kid, and it's been one of his big, we eat at the table, where it's like, God, can't we eat off our laps, you know what I mean?
Then we have a TV dinner.
Telly.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, no. He's like, no, come on, it's our one opportunity. You know, as the kids have got older and they're allowed to have their devices, is that most of the time everyone's doing something for the rest of the day. Surely dinner time is a time to come together and say, okay, how's this? Or that annoyed me or whatever. Not everyone's always in a great mood at the dinner table, but, you give it a go. And
how are you navigating technology? I'm really struggling with it. With your girls, because they're older.
Oh, my God, I see what you mean. Yes, with how much you can let them on and what to do. Oh God. You know what? If someone came into my house, if someone broke into my house to try and get to my children, I would bash them until they were dead with my fucking bare hands, right? Sorry to swear. But someone can crawl into my children's heads and I can't see it. That's what concerns me the most.
Oh, it's terrible.
And I feel like the barn door is definitely open. I don't know whether the horse is bolted or not.
Yeah. Are they allowed
control?
Are they allowed their devices in their bedroom?
We oscillate on it. We really oscillate on it. We are lucky enough to have a house where you can just go into another room, and then I'm like, well, if they're in another room and I can't see it, they might as well be in the comfort of their bedroom. YouTube, it seems to be their main thing that they love watching. They're all about YouTube. They watch lots of YouTube stuff. They play a lot of Minecraft and a lot of Roblox.
Roblox and Robux. Oh, Mum, can I have Robux? No.
But then I'll hear them. Like if they've got a friend, and then I have a friend over for a play date. Well, obviously not at the moment, but I have a friend over for a play date. Then the two of them will go into to play, and then I'll hear them saying, "Are you going to get the perp or am I?" What?
I know. I hear you. This is
jack the car. I'll get the perp, and what I'll do is I'll kill him, and then that's when I feel old, and that's when I feel like, oh no, the horse hasn't been in the barn for a while. I'd say. You think you're on top of it, but I doubt very highly that we are, and we're pretty strict.
It's scary, and I'm strict too. But with a Gem, it's the same as your girls, but with a boy, gaming. I look at all my nephews, and they're just in these dark rooms, like gaming.
Yeah,
we grew up. I'm so blessed for my childhood. I really am blessed, and I wish they could look through a wormhole and look at my childhood and see.
Down the gully on our bike.
Yeah, we were just like dinking someone on our bike and off all day, getting yabbies in the creek with a piece of meat on string, and they would be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like it's.
I talk. Dan always thinks I'm going way over the top about the girls walking home. I don't want them walking home obviously after dark.
No.
And 11 is still quite young. I don't even like Sophie being out and about at all. And he's like, babe, I think you're overreacting. There's no more creepy steel people around than there ever was. There's just we're getting, it's being reported on so much that it makes us more and more scared. And I'm like, look, I get all of that. I understand that exchange. My issue is that no one else is letting their kids out on the street. So while it's all very well just to go, they need their independence. Off you go. They're the only ones out on the street. So guess what? If someone
Guess who's going to get grabbed?
it's going to be the only one out on the street, surely, because it's been a numbers game and everyone else is in their house.
Well, they say there's no more pedophiles and that than in our time, Julia, but they have incredibly more access and ability to.
God, yeah.
I try to explain to Jem, that girl that you're talking to on Roblox, that's the average age on Roblox, this is a fact, is a 38-year-old male.
I said the same to my girls. So they were on this, I wish I could remember the name of the app. I did a big screenshot and they would do drawings because our girls are right into their art. And you do drawings and you put them up, or people would say, okay, I'm doing a competition, you've got to draw my face with the sun behind me, whatever, right? So you launch the competition and then people would comment, sort of like an Instagram for drawing. Can't remember the name of the life of it. Anyway, I thought someone said to me, one of the mums said to me, that your eldest has got something like, had something like 400 drawings up on it. I'm like, what? I love how I'm on it. I'm very strict. What? 400? So I went on to have a look at her because I looked at her drawings in the past. I'm like, they're terrific. And they were similar sort of drawings and she was so prolific with it. There was a couple of going out every day, so... Wow. What I hadn't done was going through the comments. So this particular evening I sat down and went through all the comments and started to screenshot where I thought she was being groomed. So when you go to speak to kids these days, or my kids, and I'll be like, guys, I really need to talk to you about that. Like, I know
what I'm talking to. Yeah. Oh.
I'm safe. I know them.
I don't say where I live and I don't say where...
Here's a photo of my face. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't just spent the last 13 years keeping these children off the internet for them to blow it.
I know.
With a stupid drawing game. One person had written, I don't know if it was a guy or not, Ruby a drawing, and he said, why have you made the cheeks blush? And she'd replied something about, I just thought it made her look cuter or something like that. And he said, what usually makes your cheeks blush? And she had written back something like running or something sweet and innocent. Because this would be 2 years ago, I guess. So she would have been 12. And he said, you should look up on the internet what makes your cheeks blush.
Oh.
So I'm like, Chucky, you think you're so clever. But here's where you were being groomed.
Yeah.
I also understand that
slowly,
part of my responsibility, but you think you're chatting with some, like it's 101. I'm chatting with someone it's my friend. Such
same
a
age,
friend.
and they think it's the same age. And I said, I can get on and I can pretend I'm a 14-year-old. I have personally had a friend who the police ended up getting a friend's daughter's phone who's 14. And they had it because someone was messaging things, and they had it for about 6 weeks and writing back, and there was I think it was 13 known pedophiles, and they were trying to get them to meet them at the beach, which is a common thing. Oh, we'll meet at the beach. Yeah. Yes, of course it was 14-year-old boys, wasn't it? And they're like, oh no, we know that's Oscar, that's blah blah blah's the cousin, and I've met it. You have not met 1,000 people when you're 14 on your Instagram or whatever.
That was a huge wake-up
possible.
call for us. Yeah, it's not possible. And when you have been, I have internet friends, so I can understand them having internet friends. I've got friends that I've met online that we've talked via, you know, what do you call it, silly Instagram or Twitter or
Yes.
for years I've spoken to them. So I'm like, yeah, no, God, I know that person. But I don't know that person.
No, you don't. No.
And nor do they know me. They know the Instagram version of me, or they know the Twitter version of me.
That's exactly right.
You know, talking to the girls about, like, I've specifically kept them offline. I've never, ever published them ever on my social.
No, I've actually never seen your daughters.
They're not in any photo shoots. They're not in the background of any shots. And I've definitely talked over the years about how that, you know, that's been difficult at times because they've done so many funny, cool, excellent, amazing things that I want to share, but their privacy is not mine to give away before they're ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. And anyway,
and it is there forever. It is there forever, Julia. It is there
absolutely.
forever.
And then I'm going to cop it later on. Oh, you mean using me on the internet? Yeah, I have.
Look, I'm guilty. I have a few photos of Jem on my Instagram, my personal one, but not many. And he always says,
"No, not." That's only just
you don't have me on your Facebook, do you? Like, already? So it's like, okay, well. And then he's like, then did you put that photo of me?
The girls put up photos of themselves now.
Yeah.
They've got private accounts. And we've just had this discussion in our house recently because we've been so particular about it, and because I'm not the sort of performer that paps follow. They've followed me once.
What were you doing?
At Geelong Water Park.
Oh.
And I don't really know who is to blame for that, but we came into the water park. They were shocked that we'd come in, and I didn't know that there was a paparazzi photographer who just happened to be in the Geelong Water Park with a great camera. Seems like a big coincidence to me, but anyway, no judgment. Geelong Water Park.
Ring. Yeah.
And the photos came out in one of the mags, you know, silly weekly trash mags. And on the cover of the magazine, they had put both of my girls in their bathing suits on the front cover of the mag. While you are, like, I'd paid to get in to there, I would have thought that would, whatever. Like, it's different if someone's taken it on their phone.
The public. Yeah, the public.
It's a bit difficult to control. They're a bit grainy. You can tell they're a phone shot, whatever. But not a fucking. You are going to have to put a disclaimer on my language. But not a high.
You can speak your truth on Pure Grit podcast, Julia. You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's so unnecessary. When my passion rises.
Yeah. No, I would be the same, Julia. That's just wrong. You know.
Absolutely. And then I remember being in the shopping in the supermarket, and Ruby said to Dan and I, why would they put a photo of me in my cozies? I mean, they were young at this point. They would have been, I guess, maybe 5 and 7.
Oh.
I'm talking like in a thigh.
Yeah.
I'm talking like in their little cozies. They weren't in bikinis because of being on a water slide.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm just like, how is this not Creep Central taking photographs of someone's children? So we went and had legal counsel about it, and they were like, unfortunately, the law in Australia is you can photograph any child, anytime, and use it however you want, as long as it's not for a commercial or for sexual purposes. Can you believe that that's the law? So when you go to schools and they're like, it's against the law to take photographs in the school today, that's not true. That's a school policy.
Right.
And the school policy I agree with, but it's not a law. So when I speak to people, they just assume that, you know, you can't photograph other people's children. Yeah, you can. You absolutely can.
See,
and you can print it in a magazine.
I can see that mummy lioness coming out.
Oh.
Yeah, it
well,
is.
also, as Dan says, no one else is worried about it because it's a celebrity problem.
That's what he says.
He's like, babe, I don't mean to take the wind out of your sails, but that's a celebrity problem. You kind of either got to deal with it.
You're famous, babe.
Yeah, so it's like you're not going to be able to ignite the country into changing that law because it's a well-known person's problem. And until we're photographing everybody's children, no one's going to care. It's just part of the job.
Julia, where do you think your ambition came from to get where you have got to today? Do you think
wanting money.
Is that really true?
I think.
Really?
Maybe, yeah.
From young?
I
Like, did
wanted
you
to be
know what you
famous.
wanted to be when you were young?
Oh, definitely. I knew I was full steam ahead to be a performer for sure. And whether that was
Same as me.
have I given us too much light now?
No, I like it.
A little bit of sunshine on my shoulders.
I can see your halo.
That's it. I think I wanted to be famous because I equated that with money, and money I equated with holidays, and that just sounded right to me. And I wanted to be front and center on the stage. I thought that I would get my big break through musicals.
Which you did. You did musicals.
I definitely did musicals, and I did lots of amateur musicals, but I feel like my big break came through doing stand-up. That's where I really got noticed.
Yeah.
And stand-up I sort of started by accident, as I think lots of people do.
And you were on New Faces, weren't you? Did you?
Yes.
You were on New Faces. I love that show.
I was meant to be doing the HSC, and accidentally snuck out during the trials week to do an audition. I hadn't told my parents, and then when I got a letter from Channel 9 to the house, Mum and Dad had opened it, and they're like, "Why are Channel 9 writing to you, and what is going on here?" And I had to tell them the truth and say I had been to an audition and I have been accepted to go on New Faces.
That is
and
so
we're not
cool.
a showbiz family. We've got Mum's a bookkeeper and Dad was the track manager at Gosford Race Club. So
wow,
we, it's not a performing family. All of my family are very funny. That's actually, let me just do this one. There's a naughty bit of sun in one bit.
All of your family are funny naturally.
Yeah, my brother's funnier than me. That's just definite. My mum's very funny. My dad's very funny. And so there wasn't a competing funny vibe. It's just that we all liked laughing.
I loved New Faces. I loved that show. I always wanted to go on that.
Oh.
I would have gone on and sung, though. I would have gone on and sung.
Watching Young Talent Time every week. So we would have a deal in our house. One week we were allowed to watch the football. Next week we were allowed to watch Young Talent Time.
Oh, same. So then, you think it just came from wanting money. So your drive, did you?
Yeah.
But did it come from your parenting, your parents, or just from within? You think it was in you?
There wasn't a great deal of money in our lives. You know, both parents worked really long hours and worked hard. And I think, yes, I'm not even sure that money is the right answer. I knew that I thought being famous meant you had lots of money, and that sounded great. I mean, you could buy whatever you wanted at any time, and that you could, live in a big house, and you could, I don't know, whatever the childhood versions of what money brings to you, because we hadn't really had it. We weren't, there was no overseas holidays. When I went to New Faces, it was the first time I'd been on a plane.
Wow.
So, I kind of feel like even though I've said it's money, it's not like money is my God, but that was the early version of what drove me. You had a goal
and you were just driven. You were like,
yes, and then as the years have gone on, I have continued pursuing it because it never felt like a job, ever. And going in to work at an office, which I had done in my early career when I started out stand-up at night, if I had chosen that path, I would have been fine there as well. Like, I worked on the checkout at Coles in Wyoming. I could have got to the yellow dress. I could have been a contender. Blue dress worker, yellow dress.
No, you had the drive, Julia.
Just the best of times, mate.
So is there any celebrity, famous person or who you have met has really made an impact on you? Someone that you just you actually go, you know what, they were an asshole.
I don't know. It had an ongoing effect, but I had a wonderful evening with Robin Williams in the what I'm imagining is the late 90s.
Wow.
I think. And he came out for his he was in a film Bicentennial Man. And it was launching, and they had asked me would I host the red carpet. So host the red carpet, and then would I host the after party. So as people were coming down the red carpet, they had done this big fundraising thing where they made this enormous check, and they were going to get Robin to give it to whoever they were raising funds for at the time. And he comes up the carpet and they give him the big check, and the big check was for $500. I mean, no judgment, but I think the check would have been $200 to make.
$500.
So he was so mortified. I think he donated like 10 grand on the spot. It was something like that, where he's like, and I would also like to donate some money. And then when we got to the gig, whoever had employed me, whoever the PR company were at the time, they said, right, what we want to do is we want to try and get Robin onto the stage to do some stand-up. And the only way to do that is to kind of set the party up as a stand-up club. So there's you, I think there was the comedian Anthony Murr, and Akmal Saleh, I think, was on that gig as well. My memory is shot. And so I got up and did the opener, and I was emceeing, and did some material that, whatever, a stand-up. It's a different sort of a way of speaking. And one of the PR people came up and said, you've got to cut out the dirty talk. So I was like, well... Oh,
there goes my whole routine.
Well, also it wasn't dirty. It was kind of like, well, maybe it's like some incredibly conservative over-egging the cake person's version of dirty. But anyway, whatever. It's like saying chuzies and someone saying that's grossly inappropriate. It's that was in that area. So I was told just to bring on the performers and not to speak anymore. So it was okay for the boys to rip it, but not for the girl to rip it. So it's halfway through the evening, someone said, Mr. Williams wants to meet you. So I was taken over to meet him, and we had a bit of a chat, and he said, I loved your set. And I'm like, oh, well, I appreciate that you did, but I've been told to not do any more and to calm it right down, and to, because it was so blue. And he's like, what? I'm like, I know. And then I said, between you and I, the entire evening is set up to get you onto the stage. So I just wanted to give you the heads up. That's what they're expecting that I will do, is pressure you from the stage till you get up. Do you want to do that, or I'm already in trouble. I can easily take the fall. And he's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to put you in that position, but I haven't been on the stage in a while, and I'd rather not. But so I said that what I'm going to do is you're going to hear me give you a proper thank you. And then what I'll do is I'll continue talking through that thank you, so it looks like the moment has passed, rather than go silent and put the onus onto you. He's like, that's amazing. I appreciate it. So it comes to that moment, and I talk about, what the laughter that he brought into my home over the years, tra-la-la. And with that, he sort of comes hurtling through the crowd and got up on the stage and said something along the lines of, because he said, don't go away, please stay on the stage because I'm only up here for 2 seconds.
Oh.
And then said, this woman is amazing, tra-la-la. If any of you think that that's working blue, that's not really working blue. And off he went into the bluest material for like 40 minutes. But every time I attempted to leave the stage, I was sort of just sitting alongside, because I thought I don't want to take focus. So I sat off to the side. So I've got lovely photos of him on the stage in full flight, and me just on, the side looking up at him longingly. And it completely took the pressure off, me having been slightly untoward, like by saying boobs earlier in the night, as he just worked super blue, truly hilarious, brilliant moment in time that people are still talking about, the night that they went to I think it was the Ariel nightclub. Was it that one of those nightclubs along near Taylor Square? And the night they saw Robin Williams perform his stand-up.
Wow.
That was
that's a brilliant story.
Yeah.
So he really affected you.
Yeah, and so the boys were, it was absolutely accepted that the boys would be as rude as possible, but a lady should remain ladylike. And of course, that's followed me for a lifetime. Ladylike.
Ladylike.
I don't need to be ladylike. I identify as a lady.
Yes.
So what?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I love that story, Julia. I love Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah,
Loved
it's beautiful.
him.
So I think any time that I've had an opportunity to help another performer who hasn't reached the same level in the industry, I also feel over the years that female comics in my gen and before us have trailblazed for women to be able to say, you know, say anything they want. Well, getting closer to it anyway.
Yeah.
And you know, finally dissolving this ridiculous idea of whether you're ladylike or not. Ladylike.
Yeah, ladylike.
Nothing sends me off the deep end like
that's
ladylike.
Not very ladylike, Julia.
Yeah.
Morris.
Oh, is it not for you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least I know you're an oppressor. Anyone who uses the expression ladylike.
I know, I don't get it.
Oppressor. How's it working out for you? Oppressor.
Oppressor. And is there any someone that you really, really admired in your career and then you've met them and you've gone, ugh, I actually don't like I don't like you much.
There's a few people who have done that, but I'm never a fan of naming and shaming because I find
I'm not meaning naming and shaming, but there has been some that you've gone.
No, it definitely has. Oh my God, I was totally fired for being too funny from one job by a woman.
Same as me. I had a woman that hated me. Honestly, the only boss I've ever had that's been like awful, Julia, was a female.
So it's like, help a brother out, mate.
This is a dead true story. Dress her down. She's looking too pretty.
Oh.
True fact. How do you do that? Like, I look the way I look.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think that there is...
I was like...
There are a swathe of performers that are so jealous and insecure about their own output that they cannot have someone who they perceive as funnier or more beautiful or more whatever around them. And that never made sense to me. Because first of all, you're just like, well, I'm not going to become more beautiful by them not existing. And secondly, hopefully, when I can't get any work, maybe they'll let me in.
Now I'm older.
Now
I'm older, Julia, maybe. Like, honestly, it sort of affected me. I thought about it. I was 26 at the time and in my prime. And I felt sorry for the stylists and the makeup artists. They were sort of like, huh? Like,
it just, well, also, those sort of people just show themselves. They're just
got sacked.
Okay, so
she got
when I'm
sacked.
talking about ladylike being oppressor, it's the same as that sort of behaviour. That's just someone who's, they're not in a happy place at all.
And I was too commercial.
I love the one of not being cool enough. I had a discussion with someone the other day about the expression selling out.
Oh, selling out. Oh, you've sold out, have you, Julia?
I'm pretty sure I've sold out.
Can you help me sell out? I need a sponsor on my podcast. Help me sell out.
Let me sell out. For the love of God, I'll be more than happy to sell out. But I've decided to change the idea of selling out in my mind. Is that selling out is the theatres that I perform in, and I want to sell out. Because that's the reason why I'm on the road. I want to get higher ratings in the shows that I'm on. I want to have commercial endorsements that will mean that not only do I get to share a product with someone, but I also get to have some financial compensation, even though it'll still be only 60 to 80% of what a man will earn.
Exactly.
To feed my family and build a future. So I'll sell out any day of the week. I'm all about selling out.
Go for it, Julia. It's an absolute pleasure having you on Pure Grit podcast because I'm diversifying with my guests, and you. I knew that the listeners are now, which is fantastic, are worldwide, and now maybe having you on, they'll get more worldwide because your reach is even further. Have some listeners in Africa now, probably.
Oh, I love that,
Julia. I actually do, but sort of obscure where you see where, because you actually see where your listeners are listening from.
You're right. Well, that's the joy of the podcast, isn't it? Is that you are not, and when you were talking about it earlier, in terms of radio and wanting to do a podcast for many years, is that I feel like there's the commercial options of television and radio, but you also have the opportunity to have tremendous success under your own rules, talking about stuff that you've wanted to talk about, which, you know, as we know over the years, program directors, you know, they have many different people to satisfy and to make happy. So there's lots of decisions that are made in radio and on television that you're just like, why can't we just be honest? Why can't you see more of this?
Yes. Well, when I'd say interview you for on radio, it's about I'm a celebrity, get me out of here or something. It's very quick. It's basically promoting whatever you're doing
and trying to
time, but not knowing you. Well, not knowing you, and the next call, the publicity calls in again. Yep, got Julia.
Absolutely.
Got,
yeah.
And that's not.
And you're trying to get out some promotion and some laughs, and in that same urgent space that we sort of talked about earlier, is that the short form radio interview is really a promotion for something. So it's trying to make it not look like an ad, whether I'm on tour and I'm trying to sell the tour, or whether I'm trying to sell a show that I'm working on. And so I think the podcast gives you a lot more breadth of honesty.
It does, and I want to bring and have it there forever, like your story, for example. And I know you're working on a book, and I really can't wait for your. It's just like, what can't you do? I have no idea what your book's going to be about, Julia. No idea, but I know I'm going to read it.
I love it. Yeah.
So perhaps
come in October. I mean, I have been typing.
October. It's coming out in October, is it?
Yeah, it's 2 seconds away.
Brilliant.
So I'm sure as we get closer, there'll be a lot more reveal.
Can you give me a ring, ring, ring when the book comes out? Because, you know, I was so blessed by the beautiful Lane Beachley. She sent me a copy of her latest book, and I just love it.
She's an absolute rocker of a girl, Lane Beachley.
You know what? I didn't know Lane from a bar of soap, and this is the thing. I end up after the podcast feeling like I've got to know, and so the listeners have got to know. Now the listeners have got to know Julia Morris, not Julia who's on, I'm a celebrity, just that. And doing all your, you know.
Yeah,
hyped,
absolutely.
Julia,
Well,
just you.
Yeah, love it. That's what, you know, my family and friends often say, that certainly in comedy, you are under a different sort of pressure with that sort of, you know, you need to laugh every 30 seconds or people are like, that person's not funny. Lots of people don't find me funny. Some people find me funny. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Whereas there's not really much that's set up to just chat and be yourself. There's certainly not the time on any of the commercial outlets.
No.
So I think, you know, podcasts are definitely a way of people to getting to know someone a little bit better and just hearing a little bit about their morals and their standards and
just your life.
You know,
and you know, we just talk, you know, you just told us all about your life at home with being a wife and with the kids and normality and the struggles and your resilience that you have, Julia, and your strength of character. That's what I'm after. Like, that's what Pure Grit's about. And I'm really, really grateful, Julia, for you giving me the time, because I know how busy you are. And
well, you know what? We've been pals for a long time. And certainly had a great connection for a long time.
And I'm really am grateful. Is there a saying, Julia, that you like live by, or a saying that you love?
Let the balloon go.
Let the balloon go. I love it.
Just let the balloon go.
Let the balloon go.
Whatever you're holding on to, whatever you, I don't.
I love that, Julia.
Yeah, there is a book called is it a book or a movie, Let the Balloon Go? But I just feel like a lot of times if I'm holding on to stuff or I've got opinions that I need to change, I've got to let the balloon go. It's the same with sort of feeling sexy and 20 and whether boys are looking at me or not. Do you know what? I'm going to let the balloon go.
And Julia, a song. If there is, I know you love singing and you're like me, we love music. If there's a song that you could pick that describes Julia Morris?
Oh, I think it's let's go for the ice cold Michelle, fight for that white gold. Let's go for the good girls and good girls, sweet masterpiece. Styling, can learn the words. Give it up in the city. Put a girl on, everything wrong. Gonna kiss myself, it's so pretty.
Too hot. I love it. Julia Uptown Funk, that is you.
I've got the full funk. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, thank
all
you
about it.
so much for being, it's been my absolute pleasure. I've got way more wrinkles since being on this podcast with you from laughing. I am really, really grateful, and I look forward to the feedback on your podcast with me. Thank you, Julia. I really appreciate it.
Love you so much.
Hello, thanks for tuning in. Drop me a message if you want to, or comment. Please share and like. Next week, I chat to Shannon Knoll. Now, Shannon Knoll, we know him as a fantastic singer. He's got a great set of lungs. He was on Idol. We chat about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, but we also chat about life on the farm, the drought, and actually the toughest moment Shannon has ever gone through. It actually makes me quite teary. So make sure you tune in and have a listen to Shannon's story. Thanks again. See you then.